reform?
Yes, we can do all of those things. We have more people in jail than any other country on earth, 2.2 million people, spending $80 billion a year. I believe we should invest in jobs and education for our young people, not jails and incarceration. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing. We have legislation in that would create a significant number of jobs for young people, and I prefer doing that than seeing them end up in jail cells.
The question for people in Stockton is, will it reach cities like Stockton?
It will reach the cities in America which are hardest hit. We need to change our national priorities, and that means we don't give tax breaks to billionaires. We don't allow corporations to shut down in America and move abroad. We reinvest in those communities that are hardest hit, and certainly one of those communities is Stockton. This is the United States of America. This is the wealthiest country in the history of the world. We should not be having cities all across this country, including Stockton, with very, very high unemployment rates and high crime rates. We can do a lot better than that.
You have said you support a $15 minimum wage at the national level. California approved it, and it will raise it proportionally in the years to come. But small businesses are saying that they cannot afford it and it will devastate them. What do you have to say to that, and what can you do to offset an effect like
Well,
that?
the evidence suggests that with some of these, I understand the position of where the small businesses are coming from, but what I also understand is that people in this country who work for a living cannot make it on $10, $11, $12 an hour. I believe we should have a $15 an hour minimum wage, and I'm going to fight to make that happen in 50 states in this country as soon as we possibly can. And I believe we need pay equity for women. They should not be making 79 cents on the dollar compared to men.
Quickly turning to your opponent, Hillary Clinton. You've said that people are tired of hearing about her emails, but we do know she's being investigated by the FBI. So has the possibility of her facing an indictment influenced in any way your decision to stay in this race?
No, our decision is based on the fact that as of today, we have about 45.5% of the pledged delegates. There are 9 states remaining, including the state of California. We think we have an excellent chance to do very, very well in many of these states. If we can win big here in California, we have the possibility, it's an uphill battle, but we have the possibility of going to the Democratic Convention with a majority of pledged delegates. That's what our goal is.
But she does have 94% of the delegates. And
it's a complicated issue. In terms of pledged delegates, in terms of the delegates that were elected by the people, she has 54.5, and we have 45.5.
There's a Bernie or bust movement out there saying that if you're not the candidate, they're not going to come out to vote. What do you say to those people?
Well, I think that for any candidate, for any office, the job of that candidate, Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, anybody else, has got to make the case to people as to why they are the best candidate.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
One last one, Senator.
What do you got now?
You want to do it outside? Just flip the paper?
Yeah, hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Okay,
Roger.
we just have a few minutes.
I know, I understand.
Let's get in the shade here.
Okay. As you know, the city went through bankruptcy here. It got no federal help during the bankruptcy. It hasn't gotten any since. It's really struggling. I know can you be a little bit more specific of what should have been done?
Well, should or it doesn't matter. The question is what will be done. Stockton obviously has enormous problems in terms of high unemployment and crime. They're not the only city in America in that position. Many inner cities around this country are looking at 30, 40, 50% youth unemployment, crumbling infrastructure. Look at Flint, Michigan, crime problems. What we have got to do as a nation is change our national priorities. That means we should not be fighting in wars that cost us trillions of dollars that we never should have gotten into. It means that we cannot give huge tax breaks to billionaires. It means that we have got to address the very serious crisis of income and wealth inequality and demand that the wealthiest people in this country start paying their fair share of taxes so that we have the resources to rebuild cities like Stockton, put our kids to work in meaningful jobs rather than putting them into jails. And that's been my goal. Invest in our young people in terms of education and jobs, not more jails and incarceration.
Do you know much about Michael Tubbs, who's going to be introducing you?
No, I don't.
Okay. Immigration, can you talk about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, we have 11 million people who are undocumented. Many of those people are being exploited because when you have no legal rights, your employer can do pretty much what he wants to you. Clearly, we need a comprehensive immigration reform. We need a path towards citizenship. We need an immigration policy which is based on uniting families, not dividing families. And if the Congress does not do what it should do, which is to pass immigration reform, I will use all of the executive powers that I have as president to improve the situation.
Can you discuss one more education, the
Sure.
free tuition at public colleges? for those who
Enormously
can get-
important. We are going to pay for that by a tax on Wall Street speculation. I don't have to explain to the people of Stockton what Wall Street's greed has done to this community and communities all over this country. In my view, in the year 2016, when we talk about public education, we have got to be talking about making public colleges and universities tuition free. And the reason for that is that the world has changed, the economy has changed, technology has changed, people need more education. And it's just not good enough to talk about public education being first grade through 12th grade. I want every kid in Stockton or in Burlington, Vermont, my hometown, to know that regardless of the income of their families, if they study hard, if they do well in school, yes, despite the income of their families, they will be able to get a college degree.
What about people who are already in school or have just recently gotten out and are burdened with...
You got it.
loans
You
that
got it. Thank you for asking. That is a huge issue. And we have millions of people who are struggling with very high levels of student debt. Our legislation addresses that as well by allowing people to refinance their loans at the lowest interest rate they can find. Right now, you got people out there with 6, 8, 10% interest rates. We will give them the opportunity to get 2, 3, 4% interest rates. That'll be a massive saving. And that is paid for through a tax on Wall Street speculation. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.